Hello everybody and welcome to my channel, Jo Re Mi Fa So La Keto. I'm Jo Re and I am doing a weekly vlog to share my keto weight loss progress. I started my keto journey in March of 2018 and did really well that first year, losing over 50 pounds and maintaining that weight loss for a couple of years until the nightmare we all know is 2020. I gained everything back and then some, and then in January of 2021, I restarted keto and I have lost almost 60 pounds so far. So today I'm gonna go over 2 meal prep meals for the week. I was out of town this last weekend and just got back on Monday, so it's not a full week, so I am gonna prep only 2 meals. Since I am prepping and I don't have the full day like I would on a weekend, I really wanted to make these recipes for this week as fast and easy as possible. So the 2 meals that I'm making this week are cabbage and sausage, and the other meal is going to be a breakfast sandwich that I'm gonna make with Chaffles. I think a lot of you on your non-keto days may have eaten a McGriddle sandwich from McDonald's, and that's when it's like 2 pancakes and then the sausage and the egg and the cheese in the middle. So I'm gonna make something like that, but I'm gonna use Chaffles instead of pancakes. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I have all of the ingredients for both meals over here. So for the sausage and cabbage, I just did coleslaw. There are some carrots in here, but to me, there's not enough to really like make me freak out and not want to use this. I am looking for time here as well. I have some hot Italian sausages. Then I have a half an onion that is sliced, and then I have some of my crushed garlic. So this is basically everything that's going to be in the cabbage dish. And then for the breakfast McGriddle chaffle, for the chaffles themselves, we have about a half a cup of cheese. I have some monk fruit and some maple extract, as well as some xanthan gum and some almond flour. And that's the ingredients for the chaffle. Oh, and some egg whites. So you could definitely try to separate an egg. I don't want to do all that work, and I don't want to waste a yolk either. So I'm going to just be using egg whites in a carton, makes it so much easier. And then I have some cheese and an egg. I don't make my eggs ahead of time. They don't turn out good. They don't hold up very well. So I make my eggs as I need them. You can't really see it, but on the back counter, I do have all my sausage patties ready to go. But the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make my bacon. I don't think I even said bacon on this side. Bacon as well in the cabbage dish. So the first thing I'm gonna do is get this on the stove, and then I'm going to throw the sausage, both the breakfast and the Italian links, in the air fryer. So I have a new air fryer that has 2 different compartments. I'll show you in a minute, but first let's get this bacon started. There is a link to the recipe for the cabbage and sausage dish below in the description. I also have the recipe for my chaffles in the description as well. This is one that I have kind of played with and messed around with to my liking, to my desired crispness, that's what I'm trying to say. But the chaffle recipe is below, and you can obviously add whatever you want on the inside of your breakfast sandwich. So here is my new air fryer. The other one, the nonstick coating was coming off of, and honestly, we had it for years, got a lot of really good use out of it. But I did have a gift card, and like a Visa gift card, and I decided I wanted to buy a new air fryer. So what's really cool about this one, it is the Ninja, so it makes those beeping noises, but I have 2 compartments that I can put on 2 different settings. So this was about $150. I think it's totally worth it. I like being able to cook a couple different things at the same time, and these are still pretty deep. I think you can still fit like a whole chicken in there if you really wanted to. But we are going to go ahead and put our sausages in both of these, and I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to fit everything, but we'll see if I have to do 2 rounds. It's really not that big of a deal. So I was able to get about 3 of my breakfast sausages fit in here and 4 of the Italian sausage in here. And what I like is you can do these on 2 different heat settings. So the first one, we are going to put, what's in this one? Breakfast sausages. We're going to put it on air fry at 400 degrees for only 3 minutes. And then we're gonna flip them and do 3 minutes on the other side. Now for number 2, we're gonna also do air fry for 360 and for 6 minutes. And then we're going to flip. Okay, and then I just hit start. There we go. Okay, so our bacon is all crispy, so I'm gonna add the onions and garlic, saute that a little bit, and then add the cabbage. It really is that easy. And I do decide I'm gonna use the whole bag. Why not? So I am gonna let the cabbage wilt down for a bit. I'll keep stirring it as time goes on, but I'm gonna go ahead and check on my sausages real quick. I think they do need maybe just a little bit more time. So the last thing I'm gonna add for the cabbage is going to be just some salt and pepper. And honestly, that's how easy this is, and it is so good. You'll have to let me know if you try it and what you think. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started on the chaffles. And I'm sorry, the air fryer is still going, so it is kind of loud over there. But the ingredients in here, I do have my cheese. I am doubling this because I am gonna make 4 right now. You can make your chaffles ahead of time. Just make sure to refrigerate them because they will go bad fairly quickly. Normally, I just make these as I need them. Sometimes I don't have that time, so today I am gonna prep a couple chaffles just to use in the future. But I have a half a cup of cheese, so normally if you're only gonna make 2 for 1 meal, you would use a 1/4 cup. You can use less than that. I find it still works if you use less cheese. But what we wanna do is do our dry ingredients first. So I am gonna add 2 tablespoons of almond flour. Again, if you're making 1, it would just be 1 tablespoon. I am gonna use a teaspoon of xanthan gum. Normally you would use a half if you're only gonna make 1. Well, if you are new to keto and you've never used xanthan gum before, this is a really good thickening agent. You just have to be careful because you don't really need a lot. This bag is probably gonna last me like a really long time. Some people don't love the texture of xanthan gum. It can get a little bit like gelatinous-y. So the best thing to do with xanthan gum is to add it to your dry ingredients first before you add any wet ingredients. If you are using it in a soup, like mix it with spices or mix it with other things, it'll just help it so it doesn't clump. It'll mix up pretty evenly. So I am gonna add a little bit of sweetener because this is gonna be like a sweet chaffle. So let's see. Honestly, I'm not very good at measuring with this. I just grab a couple fingerfuls. It's probably like a teaspoon, maybe 2. Really to your desired sweetness. So next we're gonna add our egg whites. I'm gonna use 3 tablespoons of egg white. This is equivalent to about 1 egg for each chaffle. So I'm gonna use 6 for this recipe today. And I will add that the cheese that I'm using here is mozzarella. You could obviously use whatever cheese you want. I find that mozzarella works the best in chaffles because it's very neutral tasting. Like you really can't tell that there's cheese in this chaffle. But if you were to use something like cheddar or like Parmesan, you're definitely gonna taste that cheese. So I like the mozzarella the best. I feel like you can add whatever seasonings you want to it and you can't really tell that there's a bunch of cheese in it. So the last thing I'm gonna add here is some maple extract or imitation maple flavor. You really don't need a ton of this. A little goes a long way. Another thing you would also add is some sugar-free maple syrup. I know this isn't the best kind, but I am gonna add just a little bit of it. And my iron is hot. This is a Dash waffle iron. You can get them in the little tiny singles, but I did get this for my birthday this year. I was super excited about it. Just because if you're making one at a time, it definitely takes forever. I love the idea of making 4. So I'm gonna split this into 4 different sections. And we are gonna spread this out. I still have some left, so I'm just trying to see where I might need some more batter. It's definitely gonna puff up. So we're gonna close these up. And what I will watch here is that my Dash maker does have a little clip, and I don't want it to stay locked because it's inflating now, and I don't want it to, you know, have all that pressure. I want to make sure that I can still open and close it when it's needed, but I don't know if you can tell, but it's lifted up a little bit. But what I'm waiting for here is for all of the steam to stop. Once the steam is very little or is gone, then our chaffles are done. So we're gonna give that a few minutes. And while we're waiting for the chaffle, I'm gonna go ahead and make my egg. So you can make your egg for the chaffle sandwich however you want. Maybe you want a fried egg, maybe you want to scramble it or make a little omelet. I am gonna do something that might be a little controversial. I'm gonna put this in the microwave. I don't know if you ever tried microwave eggs. They do kind of end up fluffy, and I have this container which is a really like perfect circle that fits my sandwich. So it'll take this shape. The only thing I'm gonna do really quick is spray it with some non-stick like olive oil or Pam or whatever you have. And I'm gonna put this in the microwave for 1 minute. So all of my sausages are out of the air fryer right now. I ended up having to do the breakfast sausage just a little bit longer. So maybe like 4 minutes on each side, maybe 5 minutes on the last side. It just depends. I use my little thermometer just to make sure it was the right temperature, but these look really good. And that was super easy. I was able to cook all of those, and even in 2 batches before I was done with the sausage and everything else. But I'm gonna go grab my egg out of the microwave, and I know. We'll see what you think. So here's the egg. And you can kind of see it like puffed up, but it's a circle. It will fit right on my chaffle. So that's what I'm liking right now. I do them in the microwave. I know maybe there's an easier way, but I don't have to dirty a whole pan. I'm sure there's a better way to make them in a circle, but I don't have that much time, so microwave it is. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but there is a little bit of steam coming out of here. It's almost done, so I'm gonna go get a plate so I can put all of my chaffle breakfast sandwich together. Okay, let's see how they look. Ooh, and they are gonna be really hot. And I thought I overfilled, but they did really good. They didn't kind of go everywhere. But you can kind of see, like they're a little bit flimsy. If I didn't put the syrup or the maple extract or anything, they wouldn't have been this flimsy. They would get a little bit crispier, but I don't really mind that because it's supposed to be like a pancake, right? So I'm gonna take these out. It's best if you put them on maybe like a cooling rack or something, or else they will kind of steam up a bit, and they will get a little bit like crispier if you let them sit a little bit longer to cool off. Okay, so to assemble my sandwich, I'm gonna have some cheese. Then we are gonna put our egg on there. Then I'm gonna grab a sausage, stick it on top. Oh my goodness. Doesn't that look awesome? It'll be so good. I like to cut mine in half. Kind of hard to bite when it's this big. there we go. Our breakfast McGriddle sandwich. You could also add some roasted chilies or jalapenos or hot sauce on this if you wanted it a little spicy. That's probably what I'm gonna do. But I wanna eat this before it gets cold, but I do wanna also show you the sausage and cabbage dish and how I'm going to put that together and try it as well. So here we have the sausage and cabbage. So I did use about 1.5 sausages for a meal. I'm not gonna be eating this until dinner time tonight, but I did wanna try it. I've made this one before, it's so good. The only thing is that you do have to kind of watch out if you are buying like a pre-packaged sausage. You gotta check the ingredients. Try to get some that have no sugar in it or very little sugar in it. But these hot Italian sausages that I found at my local King Soopers, they don't have any sugar in it. They have no carbs. So this is my favorite hot Italian sausage. So here we are. So that is so good. Cooking the cabbage in the bacon, this is so good. Has a little bit of sweetness to it, but you know we didn't add any sweetener. You can kind of have a lot of cabbage. There's really not that many carbs in cabbage, so this is one of my favorite dishes. Probably get the most carbs of any of these kind of like trace carrots in here, or the onions, and you can always use less onions. I do think this recipe only called for like 2 ounces, which is like 1/4 of an onion. I just used a half because, you know, I had a half an onion. So, but let's go ahead and jump to our McGriddle sandwich. This is so thick. Like, how am I supposed to, That is so good. You can definitely taste the sweetness. Some of the maple in here. You can also add more maple on here if you wanted to, use a little bit of syrup. But this is one of my favorite like breakfast sandwiches. I honestly could eat breakfast for like every meal and be okay, or at least every day, and I would be fine. Eggs, sausage, bacon, you name it, I'll eat all the breakfast food. So that is all that I have for today. I'm going to do my weekly results in a separate video this week. I do think that makes more sense than when I try to tack it on to the end and try to figure it out. I'll just record it, make it its own little small video. So thank you guys for joining me. If you have any ideas on other meals that you would like to see me make, let me know in the comments below. And again, I have linked the recipe to the chaffle below, as well as the sausage and cabbage recipe. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the little bell icon to get a notification every time I post a new video. I will see you in just a couple days. Bye.